Street photography is one of the more popular forms of photography nowadays due to the sheer convenience of just walking out on the street, especially if you're in a big city, and taking photos of the quote-unquote mundane, attempting to make it a little more interesting. If you're anything like me, street photography was one of the first genres that you kind of dabbled in because it was so accessible. I remember when I was 16 years old, I asked for a DSLR on my birthday, and after a ton of research, I got the Nikon D3400, and I fell in love. The first thing that I did was go out on the street downtown and start taking photos of people, mundane things, buildings, really anything that I could. When I was doing that, I didn't really realize what I was doing, but I was paying a silent homage to one of the first street photographers, Henri Cartier-Bresson. He took photos that, objectively speaking, don't look so unfamiliar today. Actually, many photographers might find a photo like this not sharp enough or out of focus, but that wasn't the point of Henri's art. He was one of the first to break conventions. Photos like these were extremely uncommon when Henri was taking photos in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And although things like this or this are pretty commonplace today, they blew people's minds. They really did. So today we're going to be talking about Henri, talking about his role in street photography today and why things are the way they are because of this man. 35mm film acts as a relic of the past and it's seen some sort of resurgence, but at one point this was the new kid on the block. Film was an essential part of photography during the birth of street photography in the 50s, and Henri was one of the early adopters. Now, Henri was a rich kid, and there's no way around that. His father was an acclaimed textile manufacturer, and his mother's family came from cotton merchants. That, in combination with his background in painting, allowed him to explore the uncharted territory of candid street photography. Arguably one of his most influential photos, behind the Gare Saint-Lazare, is the epitome of Henri's philosophy of the decisive moment. It's not just about what's happening, it's about capturing that split second that tells a whole story, waiting patiently, anticipating the perfect moment. The fact that this is on film, which has a severe lack of burst mode, mind you, makes it all the more impressive. And he didn't capture these photos by accident. He was methodical in his approach, and the shadows of the past reverberate throughout modern street photography today. Now, what was his gear? You may or may not be surprised that he was a Leica man. He almost always used a Leica with a normal 50mm lens, which is still pretty commonplace in street photography today. He never used a flash. He viewed it as, quote, impolite, like coming to a concert with a pistol in your hand. Photography is not like a painting, Cartier-Bresson told the Washington Post in 1957. There is a creative fraction of a second when you are taking a picture. Your eye must see a composition or an expression that life itself offers you, and you must know with intuition when to click the camera. That is the moment the photographer is creative. Once you miss it, it's gone forever. Now, the Leica opened up new possibilities in photography, the ability to capture the world in its actual state of movement and transformation. Henri was a perceiver, someone who noticed the quiet poetry of ordinary life. He froze fleeting moments not to make them monumental, but to remind us why they mattered. His work is a reminder to slow down, pay attention, and be grateful for the mundane, because that's where life actually happens. Henri died in France on the 3rd of August 2004, within a month of his 96th birthday. But his legacy lives throughout the modern approach to street photography. The patience, the decisive moment, and the appreciation for the mundane, all of these in combination are essential to create a compelling piece of art that stands the test of time.